Hey guys, welcome to this replay broadcast. Baldy and I are here covering the Acer Teamstory Cup qualifiers for the European division between Meteor Makers and mYi. Baldy, take it away.
Spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we do have our red Terran from MYM, Meteor Makers. It is the Notorious Dragon.
And his opponent in the lower left, spawning blue, recently picked up from mYi and awakened from his slumber of non-playing. It is the blue Terran, Tarson. Now, Dragon, I want to put this out there. I mean, people have seen Tarson's success and his failures in the past, but I feel a lot of people haven't got a good feel for Dragon because he spends so much time trolling around on his stream and having some fun with his viewers. People forget he's got some pretty solid Terran mechanics down pat, and he knows how to play. Now, granted, I'm not even going to come close to saying Dragon's the best Terran out there, but he is a really good Terran, and I feel that a lot of people not underdog, but like under-anticipate his potential. So hopefully Tarson doesn't do that in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I can definitely agree with that kind of underappreciation for him. I remember we actually casted a game quite a while ago where I think he went like mass ghosts and nukes.
Oh, that nuke game, yeah. What was that, like 40 Broodlords at the end getting nuked? That was pretty sick.
Yeah. And like, yeah, that was pretty funny. And we went like planetary expand. But either way, the first notable thing is we have a gas first actually from Tarson. So he will be able to, well, there's a few options. He can go Reapers or perhaps go for a factory straight away. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's a little bit funky. Reapers are really nice units in Heart of the Swarm. We've seen a lot of people start incorporating them to their builds, but I kind of feel in TVT, as much as I personally love Reapers, they're my, well, Hellions and Reapers are my favorite units in the game, but they are not so good if your opponent knows what they're looking for. I mean, all it takes is a couple well-placed Marines, hell, even getting a Banshee on the field, something, anything to shut them down.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit of a gamble to take, like you said, you know. Can come out on top, but I do like these kind of openings I'm seeing more where the Reapers aren't being used as much, especially in TVT. But we'll have to wait and see.
Well, I still feel sometimes having just went out in the field, I mean, with their innate speed boost from Wings of Liberty, I mean, they're really good scouting units. And if you can build a Reaper and save a scan, 100% worth it in my opinion.
There you go. We do have a Reaper on the way for Dragon, while Tarson actually went for the factory straight away. So, first changes. I do like a game that has variation within the first 4 minutes.
Yeah, Dragon getting the Reaper out second. I mean, he got the Marine out first, Reaper follow-up. This to me says he wants to be more defensive with it. We'll have to see if he continues Reaper production, because if he gets about 3 on the field, he can get in here, wiggle in, and start doing some harass. But one Reaper alone, it can deal with the Marine. But if Tarson has much more than that on the field, it's just going to get shut down quickly. Alright, second Reaper actually coming out. So we may just see a little bit more.
Getting expansion behind us as well.
Yeah, so I mean, this isn't like Dragon dedicating his entirety of the game to Reapers or anything like that. I don't want to get too hung up on it, but he is getting a couple out, so we will probably see him at least start scouting, if not poking. But Tarson getting that Stargate poured up really early with a tech lab says to me there will be a Banshee on the field, and if that's going to be the case, these Reapers are going to be useless.
Pretty much. Unfortunately for them, they cannot shoot up. It could be something where you have like the Banshee, like they kind of circumvent each other. Like so often I've seen some games on TVT where you've had like 2 tech openings. Yes, Reapers aren't necessarily as techy as you might expect, but you know, like Reapers in the base and Banshee in the other base, and there's just so much chaos because neither can defend.
Well, speaking of walking past each other, we just had Hellions completely miss those 2 Reapers and vice versa. So he's going to come to the top of the ramp here and see only a Marine. This is, I don't know what's going through Tarson's head right now. It's like either Dragon has almost no defense and 3 CCs in his own base, or he's sending units across the field. And the Hellions about to scout that, yeah, there's nothing at the top of the ramp here, and the Reapers do arrive, but 3 Marines are going to start chasing this off. Dragon, though, going to make use of those combat drugs.
Well, this Hellion looks like it will be shut down by this Reaper that just spawned. Actually, let's have a look. Only one worker was killed.
Yeah. Not the best trade, but a lot of that was scouting information, which at this point is completely valuable. I mean, it's nice to pick off a ton of workers, but sometimes just knowing your opponent doesn't have a starport out means all the difference in the world. And yeah, there's that Banshee I was talking about earlier.
Yeah, it's actually a good point, because now Tarson's coming across knowing that the only real defense he has to deal with is perhaps Widow Mines and some Marines, but he knows that there's no Viking out just yet, so we'll see how much damage he can do, but if not, he doesn't really have to do much. But equally, we look here, Dragon's actually got his Reapers back into the natural, a third one on the way, so like you said, 3 Reapers is quite a sizable amount.
Yeah, he's looking for round 2, but turret's going down, but Baldy not actually on the field yet. No cloak, though, for this Banshee. So a couple Marines might be able to deal with this, but we see some pretty nice micro coming out of Tarson dancing around this. Meanwhile, Dragon sending in his Reapers, hoping to find nothing at home, but there are Hellions and Marines to greet them. And a little bit of poor control does cost him a Reaper, 2 Reapers even.
Yeah,
this
Banshee actually still alive. I mean,
Wow.
I guess we can often forget that Marines without combat shield just take 2 hits from a Banshee, so it's Banshee going to town, up to 7 kills, and it's actually doing a really good job avoiding the Widow Mines as well.
He's got to be careful. I mean, he saw that go down, or at least I'm assuming he did because he poked at it. But with the Viking coming out, we'll shut this down. And oh my God, Baldy, that was actually, I don't know if that was on purpose or not. I imagine it was, knowing he couldn't get away from that. Tried to trigger the Reaper, or sorry, the Widow Mine to do some splash damage on the workers, intentional or not. It's a really nice move because here we go with a big follow-up.
Yeah, we do have. Oh, I actually think. Oh, actually, he does get him out. I thought for sure like he did the
That medevac, yeah.
boost a little bit too early there, but he manages to get it out and actually doing a significant amount of damage here. We're up to a total of 12 kills on the mineral line.
And oh, these SCVs, they're spreading. It's a nice choice by Dragon, but I mean, what can you do versus 3 Hellions when you have nothing to defend?
They're lining up as well.
Oh, that group up. Let's check the workers killed, updating this to 18 workers gone at this point, but the Vikings landed should clean this up. Oh no, but there's still, he's got to be careful. That Widow Mine is, oh, just wait for this Hellion to walk a little bit too close.
No, does not trigger it.
Okay, well, Tarson doing a ton of damage there, but
Yeah.
he doesn't have another command center up and running. Oh wait, he does, never mind. He's actually got 3 of them. 3 orbitals makes
Wow,
Tarson
he's
look...
actually in a great position.
Yeah, 34 workers to 19 this early on. I mean, he definitely did some great economic damage there.
We do see him actually both players now expanding to their naturals.
I love the positioning Tarson has on this tank, by the way. I mean, this covers most of the ramp and anything that could really come in.
Yeah, it does actually. Actually hadn't thought about that placement.
That's kind of
And
like
like-
actually a really OP placement for a
Yeah,
tank.
like the only unless you got like medevacs coming through, but even then it would be pretty hard to pop that off. We do have 2 Vikings coming across, perhaps just to try and secure that airspace, make
What?
sure
How
no more
did-
drops come in. A Widow Mine being placed at the 3rd base of Tarson,
Oh.
so we'll have to be careful of that.
I was looking at the all vision. I was like, why is the tank not shooting it? But it's actually just very scarcely out of the vision of that tank, despite being in range.
Yeah. Often forget about the vision range versus the actual
Siege.
potential.
I like how in Heart of the Storm they upgraded having siege mode innately, which I thought was pretty cool, but they didn't think to improve the vision at all.
Hey man, that's the next level stuff. You can't deal with people's eyesights because there's eyesights that like the tanks like you actually can't see as opposed to like
You-
some sort of radar.
You know, what they need to do is take the flashlight from the front of the Widow Mine and just attach it to the tank turret so you can
Yeah,
see where it's
priority.
aiming.
Terran priority's not up to scratch right now.
Just, oh my god, load up a Widow Mine into the tank as a shell. Can you imagine?
That's ridiculous. We do have some Widow Mines. Yeah, no.
The range. Yeah, I always forget that range is a lot smaller than it appears to be. But this one in the middle should get the hell. No, it doesn't. What the hell?
I get. Yeah, that's right. It has like a 1.5 like trigger time, right?
Oh
So-
yeah, 1.5 second channel. So yeah, the hell just getting in and out of the edge of that. Now, for
Yeah.
those who don't know, you can actually see the Widow Mine burrowed. Checking the vision of Tarson here. You can't see it,
Wow.
but you can tell where the Widow Mine is burrowed. It's got this little circular plate on the ground. So I don't know if Tarson's looking there necessarily, but if he is, he can see that.
Actually, hadn't realized that. There you go. Keen eyes. Well, it looks like we're
No.
gonna have a Widow Mine versus Widow Mine. Boom.
Ugh, one goes down. Tarson's gonna burrow his.
It's like I'm gonna get.
But he's got no detection for it. Like, what's he gonna do? Use a scan to kill one Widow Mine? Not worth it. Alright, well, he's seen Dragon has a ton of Hellions on the field, and I mean, quite frankly, this read to me, it says like you've got to be going mech. So both players appear to be going mech with a lot of factories on the field.
We do have the 3rd now been taken by Tarson, and if you look at the SCVs, there was like 20 workers killed early in the game. That's really showing you have 54 workers for Tarson versus the 38 of Dragon. So the economy lead's definitely going to be in the favor of Tarson, and
Well, I
he's
mean-
even expanding to that top left. So that means that his next base, if he wants to, he's actually perhaps going to go up to the top left, or he might even take out that Widow Mine at the 3rd.
I feel it's really important to point out here, though, is forget the economy, forget the actual workers. Tarson has pretty much double the gas income of Dragon, and when you're going mech, I mean, gas is everything. Tanks, stores, everything but battle Hellions require gas, and there's such expensive units, too.
Yeah.
Oh, the Hellion does finally get taken out poking against that Marine.
Yeah.
Little bait and switch, I guess. Meanwhile, I don't know if Tarson actually knows that this Widow Mine is there. I mean, if he's looking, he can actually see it. But again, it's not one of the easiest things to look for. It's like observer spotting. You have to learn to look for it.
Yeah, I guess that would be the first place you'd look for something specifically like that, though. Is like, is there a little dot, like a little plate at my expansion? Because it's like almost everyone expects it these days to have at your third base, whether it's Zerg, Protoss, or Terran, because you can have Widow Mines out by them. But another thing I want to note is Tarson actually getting 2 more command centers behind this, so he's going to have a crazy amount.
Well, this is what you want to do. When you've got a ton of minerals to burn and not a lot of Hellions to build, you get a lot of orbitals up so you can start losing SCVs, or rather not building them, and keep up in economy. But Dragon with a funny barracks, I don't know if this was intended to scout or not, but it's kind of useless where it is.
Yeah. Just lands at Mills Marines, proxy Marines at like 15 minutes.
Mind games.
Yeah, man.
Build a mech army so your opponent thinks you're going mech, draw him out of position, proxy Marines. Well, Dragon, I mean, like, look at the army supply right now. I mean, he's actually done a great job of keeping up in that respect. He's kind of catching up on workers at this point. But I mean, Tarson, I feel he's had that gas lead for so long, and I feel that that's going to have such a big impact on this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think we've got the Hellbat upgrade has been completed for Tarson. For those wondering, if you look at G for the upgrades, we do have level 1 actually only halfway for Dragon. So Tarson actually got a nice upgrade lead as well as the economy.
Ooh, that Widow Mine takes out a Hellion and damages a bit of a tank, and Tarson's still not taking it out. I don't know what his deal is. It's my OCD hates that he's not taking this out yet. Like, it's straight up killing me for all the. Meanwhile, it looks like both armies posturing in the middle of the map. We might see something happen here soon. But right now, one thing I do want to point out is Tarson's got a lot more Hellions than battle mode Hellions. Sorry, Hellbats rather. I keep calling them battle mode Hellions. Whatever. But I mean, you can't really afford to transform these in the heat of battle. And okay, there we go. He does transform them before they engage. Because yeah, that 1 second it takes to transform, you're not doing damage. You're just taking damage.
Yeah, and it's really important the Hellbats purely there to tank. 135 health. It's so much more than their usual 90 from the Hellions. So in this case, the tanks are kind of just buffering until the tanks can get their shots off. But I think it looks like it's going to be kind of like a bit of a stalemate in the middle. There's not really many avenues to attack, like if you hold that central area. So I would love to see some, like, perhaps some drop play, everything like that come through.
We do actually have medevac filled with battle Hellions, or Hellbats again with that. But either way, he's heading to the mineral line. But there's so many turrets here. I mean, Tarson just does not want to get caught off guard. How many? Yeah. Well, look at this. It's like watching a turret defense. But you're right. Middle of the map. Sorry, attention drawn elsewhere.
It's fine. It's pretty funny. I like that change though. While they kind of jigging me out in the middle of the around. I think. Yeah, I don't know how that got through.
I don't know how that got through enemy lines, but Tarson with that very quick reaction to retract. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, those tanks are poised. Dragon, though, does he know that the Hellions have been withdrawn? I mean, he could walk over this army if he chooses to.
The Widow Mine going to be taken out of the third.
Finally.
Hero SCVs.
Yeah, citizens arrest being made. Halts!
Oh, another drop at the top left on the way.
Yeah, there's a siege tank here, though, so Dragon's got to be careful. He can't just sort of AFK drop this. But in the middle of the map, I mean, this is just... Oh, I'm waiting for things to get heated up, no pun intended, because there's so many Hellions here, and Tarson has nothing to buffer for his tanks.
Actually, well, we do have the Fusion Core completed for Tarson. Has he got another... It looks like he might be probably wanting to drop some more starports soon. We might even see a switch into battle cruisers, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah,
nothing like the one from the campaign, unfortunately. Yeah,
battlecruisers are really nice. They're pretty cool, but Banshees are also not too bad because again, it's all about shooting those tanks from afar. And if you can take out the Viking count, there'll be nothing to stop those Banshees. Since neither player has Thors on the field. But Dragon, here we go. 4 Hellbats dropping on this tank are actually going to deal with it quite swiftly. But Tarson responding with a hell of a lot of Hellions. This has got to signal to Dragon that there's nothing in the middle of the field. Like if he doesn't move now, I don't know what game he's watching.
Yeah, I just want to point out, it still feels kind of weird seeing medevacs heal Hellbats. I don't know. They just look mechgy.
Yeah, I don't know about weird. I find that annoying, because it's like, well, why can't you heal them when they're in Hellion form, right? What's the difference?
They get new properties when they transform.
Oh, well, here we go, the move that I've been waiting for this whole game. Finally, Dragon coming in with a lot of Hellbats, soaking so much of this tank fire. And guys, let's not forget, Hellbats are classified as light units, so they can actually take quite a few hits from these siege tanks.
Oh, some Seeker missiles about to put down on all of the...
But nothing dies! Nothing dies! There's so many tanks here that are like one hit from dead, but nothing actually dies. And that's the problem. Secret missiles... Oh, actually, hold that thought. We got a lot of Hellions getting into the mineral lines of not only the natural, but the third of Dragon. And this is quite critical, Baldy. As Dragon's been struggling in economy all game, this cannot help.
And you can see he's trying to switch into that Sky Terror, but that's not going to be the case because he just has no economy now.
No, and his base where the starports are under assault as well by landed Vikings, no less.
I think, I feel like Dragon just has to push with this. He has to try and win with this small mech army that's very
my god, Baldy, 72 workers killed and climbing at this point. Tarson doing a ton of economic damage, but is it enough? Because, I mean, okay, actually, there's no anti-air left here. This one battlecruisers could take out every single one of these tanks, and
huge
man.
seeker there.
Beautifully done. Meanwhile, though, these Vikings do take out the command center. I know,
There's so much action going on.
I know, every bit of the map currently under attack from one way or another, but Tarson has a planetary fortress up at this northernmost base, so I mean, he should be okay for a while. But again, these Vikings are just wrecking the ground here.
You look at the resource collection rate, the gas situation's been like that all game, but even the minerals is going to start to dwindle now. And Dragon doesn't really have a bank to rely on, so
no, he's got
the longer
almost
this game
nothing
goes, I'm kind of worried for him.
Both players, though, curiously enough, fairly even on workers lost at this point. Or not workers, sorry, resources lost at this point. As the workers loss is definitely a little one-sided, but Dragon continuing to rally in some tanks, not the best choice. But yeah, I was saying earlier, the Secret Missile does a lot less damage now, but you can fire off 2 instead of just 1. So it kind of helps make up for it, but we saw how weak the Secret can be with those tanks.
Yeah, they're pretty beefy. It does soften them up, but some Widow Mines not going to get there in time. This kind of feels like a bit of a last-ditch kind of hope. I mean, Dragon, no discredit to him. There was in no way was a bad engagement in the middle. Perhaps his hellbats were toward our position because the tanks were defenseless.
If Tarson hadn't run past, if Dragon could have stopped those Hellions, even half of those Hellions, this could be looking very different. But again, losing the Vikings, I mean, he had them landed and he lost them all to the battlecruisers as well. Definitely unit you would want to retain for this part of the game. Meanwhile, though, Baldy, it's not 15 minutes, but 24 minutes in, we have those proxy Marines you were asking for earlier. Dragon, I guess, really wanted to stay in this.
Man, he's got this, man. A Marine on the field. GG. In all seriousness, this is kind of a scary army.
Yeah, I truthfully can't see. It's just the supplies list at all, folks. I mean, forget how difficult battlecruisers are to deal with in and of themselves. There's Ravens here for point defense drones. There's Vikings here from Tarson as well. Dragon just doesn't have the production to make anything that can take this army down.
Yeah. Dragon also is down on upgrades as well, just to put a feather bullet in there.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's kind of funny? This game didn't really have any upgrades at all, though, looking at it, as far as it goes. I mean, 1-1's about as far as it got. Yeah, these battlecruisers. Yeah, they attack fast, but man, look how long it takes for them to kill just an SCV. It's kind of silly, but...
It's just, why isn't it like the Hyperion? Come on, guys.
I know, the Hyperion, I gotta say, like, even if the damage was smaller on the battlecruisers, like, you take the current damage and half it, if they attacked like the Hyperion, I would build battlecruisers every single time, because they look so cool.
Yeah, they're pretty sick.
But Dragon, again, he's got these Thors out, but it's too little too late, I feel. Point defense drones nullifying damage. Is it gonna be enough? Nice. Thors do blow up.
Well, Tarson, welcome back to StarCraft 2 competitive.
Alright, well, that's gonna be game 1, guys. Stick around for game 2.